Hi guys, it's Desiree. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to be starting a new book series.
It was late at night. You tossed and turned as thoughts began to play. How can this be life?
So by the title of this video, you can probably tell what book series we're going to be starting. I'm not sure if this video is going to be me just reading the first book, or if I'm going to just upload a super long video of me reading each of the books. So that'll be figured out as I go on. But yeah, so real quickly, I just kind of want to talk. I have not filmed a video since, let me see if I can check. My last video I uploaded was my Carrie Soda reading vlog, and that was May 27th that I uploaded that. It is currently June 24th when I am going to be starting this book series. So I've been in a bit of a reading slump. Nothing has done it for me. Like, everything is just not piquing my interest. The other day I saw this edit, or this TikTok I should say, about the book series Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This book had been one of the books on my list when I first started getting into reading. I heard how big this series was. A lot of people said it was just a great YA series to kind of dip your toe into reading, and I never ended up buying it. But now that it is going to become I believe a TV show. I don't know if they said it's a TV show or a movie. I'm hoping a TV show because it's 3 books, 3 seasons, wrap it all up. Anyways, hoping it's a TV show. And they casted Emma from Wednesday to play Poppy. And I don't know anything about the Ravi character, but I do think that the person that was casted for him, it's gorgeous. That casting is so beautiful. Like, this particular photo is so beautiful, and that's what I'm gonna be imagining when I do this reading the whole time. So with that being said, let me just show you. I just came from Barnes & Noble's, no lie, 20 minutes ago, and my stepdad was buying books for his granddaughter, and I asked him to buy this for me. So I bought the box set because with the show / movie production whole thing going on, I feel like they're going to redo the covers. I feel like a lot of books have been redoing covers lately, and I really want to get this before they decided to change the covers. Like I did with the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy, I have this. I'm going to take this plastic off of it. I'm really excited. I've got my handy dandy box cutter. So I picked up the sample on my Kindle, and I started reading the sample, and it was really good. And to be completely honest, I was not planning on buying this today. It is actually cheaper on Amazon, so that's what I was gonna do when I got paid again. But we were conveniently at Barnes & Noble's, and then my stepdad was like, yeah, I'll just buy it for you. So I am so excited. And this is my first box set of books, which I'm so excited because I can just literally tuck it into my bookshelf like that. I've never bought a box set. Like, all my Summer I Turned Pretty books, I bought those individually. I didn't buy the box set. So I'm really excited to get into these. Also, I think I'm going to let my mom borrow these when I'm done, because my mom and my aunt love murder, mysteries. And yeah, I'm really excited. Ooh, look at how thick that is. If you put it all in one book. Oh. Alright, so I know it goes A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and then Good Girl, Bad Blood. Or is it As Good as Dead? No, yeah, I was right. Okay. Good Girl, Bad Blood, and then As Good as Dead. Everybody says this is the craziest book, so I'm debating if I want to do this one last, or maybe its own separate video. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes me to get through the first book. So I right now have a couple things I have to go do, and I'm gonna start this book. Right now actually, I'm probably gonna start. Ooh, I like the font size. Ooh, I'm gonna start this book now, but I will update you guys when I have something interesting to say. This is obviously going to be a spoiler vlog because there's no way that I can read all 3 books in this series and not talk about spoilers. So now would be the time to click out. Alright, I'll see you guys when I get cracking. This is the lovely sound we get every single night because of the frogs. Updated this video since I started this book, and I'm currently on the train, if you can't tell, so sorry if it's a little shaky. But first of all, let me just say I love this microphone because I'm talking to my camera. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I am on page 168, 169, technically 169 because it's an entry. I don't know what chapter 18. I'm about to be on chapter 19. It's literally the next page, and so much has happened in this book that I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So this book has been a very quick read for me. I started it a couple days ago, and I'm like almost to the middle of the book, and it's really good. I feel like there's so much that I didn't even update you guys on, so I feel like I should probably go through it. So Pip has been honestly not following the rules, and I love it. She's interviewed so many people and connected so many dots. For this book, I haven't tabbed anything, and I kind of wish I did to kind of keep track a little bit of like this hint here, this hint, this hint. But she's interviewed a lot of Sal's friends, a lot of Andy's friends. She's interviewed, who else? I don't know. But one of Sal's friends, we found out, is actually, not actually, but he had like a secret thing with Andy. I personally believe he had a secret thing with Andy. And he's like, I didn't know her, she's an acquaintance. And then talking through other people, Pip found out that Max and Andy kind of had a thing going on. Also, she talked to Andy's sister for a little bit, which is crazy because she had promised to not get in the way of, to not talk to personal people. So that's pretty cool. The way like Pip's brain works is crazy. So she found out that the way that Andy was getting all her money to like buy all the stuff, because her dad wasn't giving her an allowance and she wasn't working a job, but she was selling drugs on the side. So she went to a party. God bless. She went to a party and acted like she was gonna buy drugs and found out the drug dealer, and now she's in the process of scoping out some stuff. So I think that's all I have to update. So cool. I'm in shock right now. I'm in shock right now. First of all, look at how much of you guys, let's chat. I don't remember the last time I updated this video. I know it was when I was on the train a couple days ago and I was reading, and I think I said I was like in part 3, and like so much has happened in this book and I have not updated at all. Like I updated when I started the book. I updated like mid-ish end of the book, and now I am a page away from starting chapter 36. And honestly, tomorrow I'm having a beach day with my family, and I literally have, let me show you guys how much left of the book that I have. I have this much left of the book. Last I checked, it was 112 pages. So needless to say, I will be finishing the first book between tomorrow or tonight, one or the other, because I'm not really that tired yet. But so whoever the killer is has just messaged Pip about, okay, so she was taking, what's the dog's name? Barney, out for a walk, and he never came back. So she's been like freaking the fuck out, and like it's been like 3-4 days. I hadn't been able to find the dog, and the killer that's been messaging her anonymously had texted her and was like, if you want your dog back, destroy everything from your senior capsule project. Like, destroy your computer, destroy anything that's backed up on. So she destroyed her computer. She destroyed 2 hard drives. Which, first of all, let me tell you something. She's been lying to her parents, and they're just like fucking out of sight, out of mind, babes. But I mean, I guess what happens when you have a good child and you can't even tell them they're lying to you. Anyways, whatever. The father just came into the room because she like destroyed everything. She was crying, whatever. We came home, we moved on. First of all, I'm really hoping that there's a 3rd hard drive somewhere and people find out about it, or she still has it and can do her capstone project. Especially because, like, chop it up to what it was, she had been working on this since the end of the summer. That's a lot of work to go to waste. And obviously, although she although she remembers everything, this that I'm about to tell you what just happened just equaled fair game. So the father comes in her room to tell her that they found the dog. Where is it? So he said, listen, it says, listen, Pip. He says gently, someone found Bernie. Pip's breath sucks halfway down her throat. Why don't you look happy? He must have fallen in somehow. They found him in the river. Her dad reaches down and took her hand. I'm sorry, honey, he drowned. Pip wheeled away from him, shaking her head. No, he couldn't have. That's not what... No, he couldn't have. That, my friend, is fair game. This murderer told her that if she destroyed everything, she would get her dog back, and they killed her dog. I'm gonna ruin your life. So I'm hoping that's what the rest of this is. I need her villain story right here. Just like that. Because we're gonna find out who killed this man, and we are going to make them burn. Oh, wow. I'm so excited. I wish I recorded my initial reaction when I was reading it, because I was literally like sitting here reading it, and I said, and I frantically started looking for my camera around my room. So I hate this lighting so bad. I'm sorry to say this, but Ravi kind of ate Pip up in this moment. Like, Pip is in this moment deciding that she's going to try to get Ravi to hate her as much as she can, so that he'll leave her alone and leave this project alone, so he doesn't get... Hold on, let me zoom you out in a bit. There we go. I feel like, God, my camera zoomed in so much. Anyways, so that he can like leave her, like, the project alone, leave the investigation alone, because she doesn't want him to end up getting killed like Andy Sal and now her dog did. But I'm not gonna lie, he kind of ate her up in this moment when he said, quote, because she told him that like she destroyed the evidence, and he said, where is it? He said, why would you do that? Why are you doing this? Because I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I never should have started it. This is not fair. My brother was innocent, and you just got rid of one of the small bits of evidence we had. If you stand back now, Pip, you're just as bad. Flip page. As everyone else in Fairview. Everyone who painted the word scum on our house, who smashed our windows, everyone who tormented me at school, everyone who looks at me that way, They look at me. No, you'll be worse. At least they think he's guilty. I'm sorry, she says quietly. No, I'm sorry, he says, his voice breaking. He ran his sleeve over his face to catch the angry tears and reaching for the door. I'm sorry for thinking you were someone you clearly not. You are just a kid, a cruel one like Andy Bell. Not gonna lie, he kind of ate her up because he was very understanding when she found out the true story of what happened that caused Sal's friends to revoke their alibi for him. Hi guys, editing Desiree. So a little refresher right here on why Naomi and Max revoked their alibi and said that Sal left. Yeah, they said that about the time that Sal left, because I forgot, and also I'm editing this and I forgot to mention it. So I also pulled up a summary, and it says right here, Max and Naomi were previously involved in a hit and run, and whoever sent the message somehow knew about it and threatened to tell the police unless the friends lied. So, just a little refresher on why they revoked their alibi about what time Sal had left. And she said she wasn't going to do anything about it because she didn't want to hurt Naomi, because Naomi was like a sister to her and she didn't want to get her involved in this. And he was very understanding in her not going to the police, which would have been big information and would have really helped his story. Really helped prove his brother's innocence. So he was very understanding when she said she wasn't going to do that. But for her to do this, yeah, he deserves to be as angry as he wants to be. Hi guys, so it has been so long since I've touched this video in particular. It is currently Tuesday, September 12th, and I am now editing the whole first part, like me reading the first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So yeah, I'm just editing like what I have of me reading this first book, but at the end of that, the last thing you guys saw was me at the beach starting Good Girl, Bad Blood. So, as of right now, September 12th, the earliest that I have been on here, I am only on page 32. Also, my book looks like this because I went on vacation and I had this in a beach bag that had like red fabric at the bottom that bled onto my book and onto my clothes. So sad. But yeah, I put down this series because I started the series in June. It is now September. I put down this series. I've been trying to read other books, but I'm trying to get this book done because I want to try to get this video up by October, just in time for spooky season. And I need to get pumping because I still have the rest of this book and I still have the last book. But you guys will be getting this video first, where I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Good Girl, Bad Blood. And I'm going to read As Good as Dead in a separate video, which will come out the later half of October. So, I do have Audible on my phone. Right now, I have had my Audible. I've been kind of disputing with Audible, been fighting with Audible for my money because they low-key charged my card. It's a whole thing. Anyways, but I have Good Girl, Bad Blood, and I can buy it with one of my credits. I think I'm gonna do it. I have 3 credits available. I get 1 each month, but I've been just hoarding my credits. Also because Good Girl, Bad Blood is a podcast. I feel like it's so much better to listen to it. So I'm going to download Good Girl Bad Blood and Good Girl Gone Bad. Oh no, Good as Dead. As Good as Dead. I want to download the last 2 books so that I can fly through the rest of the series, because I know just reading this book I'm not going to get that far, especially because I have other books planned for other videos planned coming up. So I'm going to do that, plan on downloading it now, and read this in a little bit later on today. Real quickly though, I do want to give an update on that last half of the book, because last I had updated was right before everything was about to pop off. So I literally, like, you can't see it really, but I like wrote a quick recap of everything that happened in the last book, so that from here on out we can talk about book 2. And yeah, if you didn't know from the beginning of this book, this is going to be spoilers, so sorry. I'm going to be also looking over here because that has my notes. So we ended off the book with 3 people going to jail. 1, Elliot Ward. Elliot Ward is Kara and Naomi's father, and which is Pip's best friend's dad. So he went to jail because multiple reasons. 1, he kidnapped a girl who he thought looked like Andy and held her captive for like years in his old house before they moved to Fairview. Before him and his family moved to Fairview, so in his old house, he held this girl captive for years. That's number 1. Number 2, we find out towards the end of the book that he was having a relationship with a minor and his student, Andy. Him and Andy were kind of having like a physical relationship. And he is a teacher and much older than her. So that was number 2. Number 3, he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was the person who caused Andy's head injury. I think something had happened where she like hit her head. I know they were arguing. I can't remember if she like ran into something, but she hit her head and he left her house. Which we'll come back to that little point about her leaving this house. So yeah. And then last but not least, trigger warning, because I'm about to get kind of descriptive. He framed Sal for the murder of Andy. He cornered Sal, force-fed him sleeping pills, and suffocated him. So he murdered Sal. Those are the 4 reasons why he got arrested. Then the second person that got arrested was Max Hastings. He was Sal's friend. He also bought drugs off of Andy. He bought, I want to know how you say like the actual name. Hold on. Rohypnol, which is roofies. He bought off of Andy because Andy was selling drugs. He would drug women and R-word them. One of his victims was Becca Bell, Andy's younger sister, and another one of his victims was Natalie De Silvia, which was somebody who Andy used to bully. And then last but not least, the third person that got arrested was Becca Bell. Like I had just mentioned, Becca was Andy's younger sister, and murderer, part 2. After Andy hit her in the head, or after Andy had like gotten hit in the head, she drove home, and Bella, I want to call her Bella, it's Becca. Becca saw her at the house and went up to her and had confronted her about Max R-wording her. She had told, I think at this point she had found out that Andy was dealing drugs and had sold to Max. And she had pretty much just confided everything into her sister, and Andy was like, yeah, no, don't care, because she was going to get in trouble, because obviously they would have opened up a case and it would have gotten around that Andy had sold the drugs to Max. And the drug dealer and everything, she would have lost all her money and da-da-da. She would be going to jail, pretty much. So I think they got into a fight. Mind you, I read this book back in June. I've read a couple books since then, so I'm a little foggy, but pretty sure Becca and Andy got into a fight. Becca pushed Andy, but not knowing that she had already injured her head. and I'm pretty sure that's like what had did it. Like Andy had died right there, like when she hit her head again. And instead of calling the cops and doing what Becca should have done, she took Andy's body, and if I'm not mistaken, she stuffed her in like one of those like bins. Oh, I don't know what the name of the bins are, but one of those bins that like you like can like set stuff on fire in. And also, when Pip found out who the killer was and confronted Becca about it, she low-key like gave Becca like, girl, go get lost and I won't say anything. Becca had drugged Pip and tried to kill her. But yeah, Pip was saved. So pretty much we end off the book with Pip giving her capstone project. She pretty much went viral. She got into the college she wanted to get into. Her and Ravi, which is Sal's brother. I can't remember if Ravi's older or younger, but Sal's brother. Pip and Ravi kind of have a thing going on, like a bit of a subplot romance. And yeah, that's pretty much where we leave off. Where I am in the book so far, Ravi and Pip have a podcast, and they are covering the case, because now like they got arrested. Now we're going through trials, charges, all that. So that's what they do. They cover that on their podcast. And also from the back of this book, it says that someone Pip knows goes missing and the police won't do anything. So Pip has no choice but to investigate. After all, Jamie Reynolds' disappearance on the very same night the town hosts a memorial for the 6-year anniversary of the deaths of Andy Bell and Sal Sai, I think is how you say his last name. It has to be more than a coincidence. Pip follows a trail of clues, uncovering more of her town's dark secrets along the way, and this time everyone is listening. Will she find Jamie before it's too late? So obviously I'm guessing this is going to tie in more with her podcast. She's going to sprinkle in details as she goes on. So I'm excited for this. And then I don't know what's happening in the last book, because obviously it'll spoil what happens in this book. So that is everything you need to know. Sorry for rambling, but now we're all caught up. So let's move on from this. I'm just gonna have to pray to God that this shit doesn't fall, because I'm gonna need to get a new tripod. Anyway, hi guys, long time no talk about this book. So, Good Girl Bad Blood. I have been listening to the audio. Why is my flashlight on still? I have been listening to the audiobook on and off for like the past couple days. When I've been at work, I'll like put it in. One day I put it in and I got through like chapters, and today I put it in and I got through to chapter 15. I am about a minute 57 into chapter 15. So hold on, let me make sure the focus is on. So let's see, page wise, what page is that? Okay, so page wise I am on 142 is what I would be on. Maybe a little bit more into 142. But that's chapter 15. So, I'm excited. So, I feel like I haven't really talked much about... I don't even know what the last thing I filmed for this video was. So, I'm just going to try to go off of from what I memorized. So, Connors, who is Pip's best friend's brother, Jamie, went missing. And that's who we're following in this book. They've all kind of like, I don't know, I agree with Pip that like him not like just leaving like that is kind of fishy. Like a couple people said like he's left before, like he's done this before, but the way that little things are coming out, it's kind of like more and more just getting more and more fishy, like especially because like we hear about how 1 second he's like sweet, he's himself, and then the next second he is on his phone, he's being secretive, he's lashing out at people, and it's getting good. So I haven't gotten like deep into the book. I seriously need to like speed up my process here because I want to be done with this book pretty soon so that I can start editing this video. Anyways, I've gotten to the part where like it's been fully announced that she's starting her 2nd season of the podcast. She's following this case. We've learned like little bits about his disappearance. So like 2 weeks before, we just found out 2 weeks before his disappearance, he lost his job working at the real estate company with Pip's mom, because he tried to steal the company's credit card for money, and he kept apologizing but like wouldn't say what it was. He just said that if it wasn't a life or death matter, he wouldn't have done it. So that's kind of making us like, what he do? And then like little things are kind of coming up, like about how after he left the memorial service early, but he was found at a calamity party, like the high schoolers party. He like was on the phone, hush hush, and he left, and I think that's the last time somebody seen him was when he left that party. So like now little things are starting to add up about like the week following up to the party, but nothing like crazy big has happened, so I feel like I don't really have much to update. But yeah, I just wanted to let y'all know that I have been reading, or listening, I should say. I have been listening to the book. Hi guys, let's have a chat. So, all day today I have been listening to the audiobook on my phone. I'm now on chapter 22, which is pretty good because I think I started out on like chapter 17. Yeah, I started my day on chapter 17, so I made it through a couple chapters, and something so good happened that I literally in the middle of work like was listening to it, and luckily there was like no customers around, nobody was around. It was just going, and I started like jumping up and down and like screaming. I was like, Pip, I love you. I need to find out. It was in chapter 20. So for reference, this is where I was. This is chapter 15. Okay, so this is chapter 20. So this is how much we have left of the book. Okay, so a little backstory, because I'm not 100% sure it was the last thing I had talked about. So as far as like our investigation is going, we've learned a lot. So we've learned some of Jamie, I want to call him Jasper, Jamie's timeline. But besides that, some more development in this story. We find out that Jasper has been talking to somebody online. He's been talking to some girl named Layla Mead. He's been talking to somebody named Layla Mead, and we found out that that was a catfish for one of their schoolmates, Stella. I forget her name. Is it Stella or something with an S? Stella Chapman. Stella Chapman has been so Layla Mead has been catfishing people using Stella Chapman's images. So this little like extra, I'm gonna read for y'all. When I tell you, like, watching or listening to Pip in this second book, I feel like I'm watching my child spread her wings. Because in the first book, like, we get to see Pip, and like she doesn't really like to step on people's toes. She's kind of like very quiet. She takes people's like emotions very, very into consideration. She like internalizes a lot of stuff. And like we're getting that in this book, but she's gotten like a little harder since then. Like she doesn't let herself get pushed over. She pushes on people instead of stopping like she normally would. She doesn't want to accept them. She keeps going and getting her answers. And I love that, especially in this moment. So their new, I think he's like the new history teacher or the new English teacher. Whatever Elliot, Claire's dad was, he's the new teacher. When they found out that Jasper was being catfished by Layla Mead, they made a fake account, messaged Layla on Instagram, and Layla messaged Pip back. She was like, "Hi Pip, you're getting closer." Would have called the cops immediately. Anyways, besides the point. So, when they were fishing through her account, they noticed that one of their new teacher was liking her photos. So, they went to go interrogate the teacher. And let me give you my proud Pip moment. Okay? The teacher was like, oh, you're mistaken or whatever. So, Pip says, it's strange then. Sorry, said Mr. Clark. I mean, it's strange that you've never heard the name Layla Mead before, but you've liked several of her posts on Instagram. Maybe you forgot about that. Girl. The teacher is like stuttering. She's like, yeah, you must have forgotten about it. Because I know you wouldn't intentionally lie about something that could have saved a former student's life. My brother, Connor, chimed in, period, as he should. And like, she really just ate my man up. Like, he was like, oh, this is like inappropriate. Like, you don't understand how strict they're being, because everything that happened with like Elliot Ward and like Andy Bell, because like that teacher-student relationship, crazy. Anyways, still, Pip pulled a face with gritted teeth, sucking in a breath between them. I wonder if that would get you into hot water if anyone found out. Excuse me? Here's what I suggest. You record an interview with me in which I use a plug-in to distort your voice. Your name will never be mentioned, and I'll bleep out any information that might potentially identify you, but you tell me everything you know about Layla Mead. If you do that, I'm sure no one will ever find out anything you wouldn't want them to. Mr. Clark, like, pauses. He's like, is this blackmail? No, sir, Pip says. It's just persuasion. When I tell you the entire time that was coming through my headphones, I was like, I was literally jumping up and down, screaming at my job. She ate him up. So yeah, that's where I am right now. I left off on chapter, like I said, 22. One of the Reddit posts cracked the code to the note that was found in Jamie's trash can about one of the like dead, I forgot. It was like Hillary something. So that's where I stopped, where they were kind of like talking about that. So that's all the update I have on Good Girl Bad Blood. And this is how much of the book I have left. So I'm excited to keep listening on my time off. Thank you. I'm currently in the process of taking my nails off because my friend's doing them tomorrow, so I have to take off my gel, whatever, save us some time. But I am going to do a bit of reading. I've gotten to a part where I get secondhand embarrassment, like when I'm listening to stuff, when I'm watching stuff, sometimes when I'm reading stuff. So I was listening to the audiobook and I got to chapter 20, pretty much the end of 29. And Pip is confronting Tom, what's his name? Tom Nowak, because he had said that he saw Jamie go to Nat's house, and it's a lie. And we found out it's a lie. So Pip is confronting him, and I was listening to the audiobook, and then when they said that, like, she walked up to him, because she's raging after the not guilty plea had happened with Max, so she's raging, and she took a little bit out on her friends, Anthony and whatever the fuck the girl's name was with an L. I think like Lauren, something like that. So then when she found out that Tom lied to her, it was even like, yeah, now she's really, really raging. So now I'm just gonna physically read it. I will update when I'm all done and what I've read. I love how I said the next time I will come back would be when I've finished my nails, and I would be giving an update on what I've read. But hold on, let me put y'all down. So this is how much of the book I have left. I really, really want to add in rereading the last book into this video, but I just know that it would be far too long. If I'm not mistaken, I think this book is around 30-45 minutes, and that's like edited, and I still haven't even fully cut stuff down. So right now there's 3, I'm on 3. I have 96 pages left before I'm done with this book. So I am going to finish this book tonight. And honestly, I'm kind of in the mood to just binge a series. I want to maybe start the final book either tonight or tomorrow. I really want to get this series done with by the end of October. It's currently October 10th. My plan is to finish the book tonight, which I think we can. It's only 5:53. I don't have any plans tomorrow, but I really want to finish this book today and maybe possibly start the next one, and finish out this series. Why not? Let's get my physical TBR going, and then I have the naturals literally staring at me, and I really want to finish the rest of that series for a different video, but I promise next time I come back, we'll be talking about what happened in this book.
But that wasn't it. It was the photos she'd taken just minutes before those. Howie Bowers standing against the fence. Someone walking out of the shadows to meet him. Someone who handed over an envelope of money, but he wasn't buying anything. In a beige coat and shorter brown hair than he had now, cheeks flushed. Stanley Forbes. And though the figures in her photos were static, unmoving, their mouths were open, Pip could almost recall the conversation she'd overheard 7 months ago. "This is the last time. Do you hear me?" Stanley had spat. "You can't keep asking for more. I don't have it." And Howie's response had been almost too quiet to hear, but Pip could have sworn it was something like,
Stanley Forbes? Who's Stanley Forbes? Hold on, I need to pull up my list. Is that the news guy? Is the news guy Stanley Forbes? The one that was dating Becca Bell? Oh, for someone who didn't know how she feels about this book. Wow. What an ending. Hi guys, so I am here to give you guys my final rating results on Good Girl Bad Blood. Sorry if you see me looking up and like this. I forget with this camera that I can use my phone as like a monitor. So I have my camera connected to my phone, and then behind that I have my rating and then what I want to talk about in this video. So I'm going to be looking like this a lot, but I'm sorry, let me move you guys down. I finished this book last night. I don't know if I will insert like bits and pieces of me finishing the last couple pages. I probably will. It'll be a little choppy, a little spotty, so sorry for that. But I finished the book last night. And on the back of the book, it gave me the first, I think, 2 chapters to As Good as Dead. Is that the last book? Yeah, As Good as Dead, which is the last book in this series. And I didn't read those because I want to read the last book either next week or the week after that. I don't know. I'm trying to spread it out because I'm doing other videos I have to read for. So I'm trying to like spread my time wisely. But yeah, so let's talk about the book. Overall, I gave this book 3 stars. This book, it was good. I can't remember what I rated the first book. I think I rated the first book 4 stars, 4 or 5 stars. I just remember it was a higher rating than what I gave this. But the reasoning, I wrote it down because it all, like, when I was fresh off of reading the book, I wrote all my feelings. So I just want to read it because I'll probably forget. I said this book was good, but I didn't think it was necessary for the trilogy. I have not read the last book yet, but honestly, if they kept the series the first book, it would have been a nice story wrapped up. Minus, like, us not finding out what happens with, like, Max, Elliot Ward, Becca Bell, like, everything that happened with their fate. If we would have gotten that, like, at the end of the first book, honestly, I feel like that would have been a good, just one book. It's made me a little hesitant about reading the last book because, like, I just don't understand how this book is going to connect into the last book. Like, they kind of left off on a bit of cliffhanger. Damn, I could not think of the word for the life of me. They left off the book on a cliffhanger. Charlie Green, who killed Stanley, ran away. I mean, yeah, him and his wife left. They fled the town. So they're on the loose. And obviously, like, they want to find them and get justice for Stanley. But honestly, like, if we didn't find out what happened between them, I honestly wouldn't care. Like, yeah, it's super unfortunate that Pip had to watch Stanley die, but really that whole situation between Stanley and Charlie, that had absolutely nothing to do with Jamie or Pip, which is also another reason why I gave this book a 3 stars. Honestly, like, I feel like this book was kind of unnecessary, to be fair. Oh yeah, this makes me a little hesitant about the last book, because how are they all going to connect? While reading the confession and argument between Charlie Green, which was Pip's neighbor, and Stanley Forbes, the newspaper guy, it had me thinking, what was the reason for this book? So, to be fair, I checked when I had first started this book. I started this book back in August 7th. It is now October 11th, and I finished this early last night, early the morning time for October 11th, so it took me months to get through this book. With that being said, a lot of stopping and starting. I could not, for the life of me, when we found out who Layla Mead was, for the life of me, I could not remember who Charlie Green was. And we literally had just had a scene with him prior. So, I feel like this book wasn't as grasping as the first book. Like, with the first book, I devoured it. I finished it in a week of me starting it. And with this book, it took me so long because, like, there would be times where I just didn't want to read it. Honestly, I was perfectly fine going as long as I did without reading it, and then I would pick it up, read a couple pages, listen to a couple chapters, and I would put it back down for like weeks on end. It didn't really have something that was like grasping me and really wanting me to like read it. Which is crazy because this was like an active case. Like, Jamie was actively missing. They were actively counting down the days and actively going through everything, and I still devoured the cold case more than I ate this one up. But a specific quote, I'm going to put this on now. A specific quote that I highlighted was when Charlie was confessing to Pip and Stanley why he brought Jamie into this, why he brought Pip into this. And he said, "My whole life, I accepted I would be the one to kill Child Brunswick," I think is how you say it, "and most likely forfeit my life in return. End up with the life sentence he should have had. But Jamie made me think, if I want Child Brunswick dead, what if I get someone else to do it for me, and then I could go on and have the life afterwards, me and Flora." I said all of this felt like Jamie and Pip got put into something that had nothing to do with them. It felt like a very much like a wrong place, wrong time situation between them. Like, I will say, I loved the concept of the podcast. Like, I loved listening to the episodes on Audible. I do recommend listening to this book on Audible because of the fact that it's a podcast. It's really cool to like listen to the podcast entries. You could read it though, because there honestly wasn't as many podcast episodes as I was expecting. But the writing was good. It was shocking. It had me on my toes when I was in reading the book. This just felt like a whole other like side plot that was going on, and Pip and Jamie just kind of stumbled into it on accident and got thrown into this whole whirlwind when this really had nothing to do with them. I feel like I'm not making sense. I hope I am, but I feel like I'm not. I said after reading the next book, I want to try to decide if this book was needed or if you only needed the first and the last book. Without reading the chapters, like the first 2 chapters about the new book, without reading those, without reading the synopsis of the next book, my guess is the last book is gonna have to be about it's gonna be about Pip trying to find Charlie and Flora while also making sure Max gets his justice. So I feel like I just repeated a lot of what I said, so I'm sorry if that was all choppy. I'm probably gonna be cutting it up a lot. But yeah, it was really fun reading these two books. I'm excited to read the last one. I'm excited to be done with the series because I really want to know like what's gonna happen in the next book. What's the overall sense for the next book? I think I'm honestly I might start it today. Like, I'm supposed to be reading Reckless and I kind of don't want to right now. So I think I'm gonna start the next book today. I feel like holding a physical book and reading a physical book. So let's do it. But that will be its own separate video that will come out whenever I finish that book. If you guys want to keep up with my process, my Goodreads, I always link it down below. yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you back here for the next one. Bye-bye.